I wanted to show you the garden today. I've been working on a new project out here, but I also wanted to give you a quick look at how things appear this time of year, on October 12th, 2023. First, we have Salvia cochineal, which is not native to my area, but it is native in states further south. It's an annual here that hummingbirds love. Next up is the fireworks goldenrod. I need to work on this bed quite a lot, as this end of the bed has lots of non-native grassy weeds, but one day I'd like this space to have more visual interest with native plants. The prairie or meadow just feet away in the same bed has loads of visual interest all summer and fall, so I may let some of those plants seed over here after moving some of the non-natives out or around a bit. Maybe some of these non-natives, since they're shorter, can be in the front or something. I'm not really sure, but we'll figure it out. Here's some liatris going to seed. I've already collected some seeds from this recently. I need to plant more liatris and more individual plants close together in the front of the beds. I know the flowers and seed heads get tall, but the bottom of the plant is kind of hidden certain times of year, and I think it will make more of a visual impact if I put it up front. I've noticed it kind of gets lost being at the back. Monarchs love liatris. I think I need to grow a lot more of it, though, in general, to provide food for the wildlife. The archway is turning for fall. Next to it, I have some verbena and cherry tomatoes. The blue mist flower is gone to seed. I've been spreading the seeds here and there. Here's the ironweed going to seed as well. The milkweed in the garden has gone through an interesting transformation. Lots of it was attacked by aphids but regrew afterwards, which I find quite interesting. I don't recall them regrowing fresh leaves this time of year ever before, but maybe I just somehow missed it. Or maybe it was in response to the aphids or the fungal issues this year. And I'm starting to think, I did a little bit more research the other day, and I'm starting to think that the fungal issues that I saw might have been from the honeydew that the aphids create. So I think maybe the aphids came in, created this honeydew, which created a fungal thing on the leaves, which made the leaves drop, and then it made the milkweed regrow from the base. Similarly to when you chop something down and then it regrows from the base. I find it very interesting. And here are some more ironweed seed heads. Powdery mildew on the bergamot. I may sound odd, but I actually find powdery mildew attractive, especially since it doesn't harm the plants. I know that sounds weird, but I like that blue hue, that kind of cool tone. Russian sage is still blooming, and so are the lantana plants. I do eventually want to replace the two lantana plants, but I haven't found a proper replacement yet. Yes, there are only two of the plants. They spread out from their base very, very far. Time to go toward the island bed. This path needs redone and reworked. I hope to get to that this fall or winter. I basically just need to widen it. I need to make it more of a path that can't get infiltrated by things. I kind of let the path get a little bit wild, but it's neither here nor there. Over here at the island bed is where the crepe myrtle lives, one of the first trees I ever planted before we got fully into native plants, so that's why it's here. I decided to pull a lot of weeds over here. I basically have to start from scratch on about half or more of this bed. It was full of non-native grasses and invasive creeping Charlie. And just as a side note, sorry about my voice. I think I'm losing my voice today. It's a little cruddy. But anyways, I added some mountain mint to it, to this bed, and I transplanted that from the peninsula bed. I just felt like there wasn't a lot of room where it was, so I transplanted over here, so hopefully it'll do okay. I also transplanted some bergamot from Habitat Hedge. The asters were volunteers I transplanted from Habitat Hedge too. I also added ironweeds, rudbeckias, and frostweeds. I also sowed some seeds from blue mistflower and liatris. There are still more plants and seeds I want to add, and I will soon. Something has been making little holes in this freshly exposed earth, and I don't know who it is. Could be ants, bees, something else entirely. It's pretty fun to investigate though. Over here is the pile of weeds I pulled up from this island bed. It was a lot of work, but the weather has been great for it. Here next to the redbud is a patch of obedient plant. They looked great until the drought happened, and then they perked back up after I ran the drip hose and the other hose for hand watering the freshly transplanted seedlings to the island bed. The hand hose leaks, which creates an almost low sprinkler effect, which perked the obedient plants up very well. I'm not sure if they will bloom this year or next. The Beautyberry is looking divine right now, and birds have been loving the berries. The black cherry tree is starting to turn yellow for fall. I really love this tree. Over here is the American Plum patch and Habitat Hedge. The fall color is starting on these and it's so beautiful. I think it's one of my favorite shrubs. It also has really big thorns and it blooms in very early spring. I absolutely love it. On the ground, you'll find the leaves doing their thing. No need to rake the leaves here yet, as my trees and shrubs are all very small. However, if I had a lot of leaves, I'd simply either leave them be where they were, or I'd gently rake them off the grass. I honestly wish I had more leaves. They're great free mulch, great for smothering weeds and protecting plants. They also nourish the surrounding perennials and trees. Not only that, but they also provide shelter for insects in the winter. We can't have luna moths and butterflies without leaf litter. A closer look at a volunteer aster and at the other end of the island bed. I've put metal grates down for bird deterrent when it comes to seeds I've sowed. They can still get some, but things like the basket especially help prevent them from eating every single seed. Did you know some birds enjoy feeding from the tops of seed heads, but other birds like to feed on seeds after they have already fallen to the ground? Cool, huh? Over here at the Peninsula Garden we have lantana, asters, verbena, and purple lovegrass, currently stealing the show. Common milkweed plants continue to spread, and the lance leaf coreopsis leaves are turning a subtle color for fall. The late blooming purple aster is my favorite thing to look at right now. It's gorgeous and it's native. It's just one plant, but it spreads out beautifully and short. I can't wait to collect seeds from it so I can create more of them. The yellow jacket is just chilling on the lantana bloom. Look how pretty that yellow of the lantana looks with the purple aster, a showstopper for sure. Oh, a bug just ran across the camera lens. More aster beauty with that pink stem. The colors echo off of the verbena. Nestled in among these shorter plants is a Washington hawthorn tree, which I hope grows well and stays healthy. Back to the yellow jacket. It just seems to be cleaning itself. I think this scene is absolutely beautiful. I love all these colors together. And the yellow jacket's just like adding to the beauty, just chilling there. Now, on over to Habitat Hedge to enjoy the asters that Mother Earth has provided us. Frostweed grows among them. Behind all that, we have oak leaf hydrangea. The hoverflies, we're having a blast on these this morning, zipping back and forth. I tried to get better footage of them, but it proved difficult. There's just something about asters, they feel magical somehow. Every now and then you might notice a red or purple leaf on them here and there, and that's their typical fall color. The frostweeds are going to seed and the leaves are starting to turn here and there, but we don't have the full autumn color show just yet. Here's a good view of Habitat Hedge and the redbud tree that sits on the east end of it. And then there's the island bed and then the peninsula garden. And a sweet little bee on the late blooming purple aster. Cutie pie. Then we have a hoverfly resting on a grass seed head. Look at this little critter. Adorable. More aster money shots. I can't get enough of this aster. Really, I can't. Then we have common milkweed showing up in the lawn. I've had several native plants pop up in the lawn this year, which brings me joy. Thanks for watching. Happy fall, everyone. Hand-painted collector cards inspired by the creatures, plants, and objects in my garden. Available now at macylu.com. Thanks for supporting the channel and the wildlife habitat we create. To support the channel, like the video, comment, and subscribe. You can also support my work by buying art from me at macylou.com. Thanks for watching!